Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kenneth Mubea with Digital South Africa as Capacity Development Lead. It's a great pleasure to be at this important workshop on climate action from research to practice and entrepreneurship perspective. Welcome. Digital South Africa was established 4 years ago, and the objective has been that of providing an operational service, providing Earth observation to support policymakers, private sector, civil society, as well as researchers to make more informed decisions on natural resource management from agriculture, water, land degradation, urbanization, and coastal erosion. Digital South Africa works with partners across the continent, also Ghana through Ghana Statistical Service, and all these partners have been able to help in the various advising on the continental services, which I show you here, as well as the validation of the same. A Digital South Africa program is powered by Amazon Web Services, and it's based on the Open Data Cube technology. Some of the continental services we have include cloud-free mosaics, geomad, cropland service, fractional cover, vegetation climatologies, water observation from space, and coastlines. Digital South Africa is providing satellite images in analysis-ready format from the European Space Agency. We have Sentinel-1 and 2, and from the USGS we have Landsat 5, 7, 8, and 9. All these imagery in analysis-ready format means that you don't need to download; you just go to get more information on the products they are ready to use. And the objective is to provide a platform which will help reporting sustainable development goals and also supporting the national development agenda of our countries and the Greater African Union Agenda 2063. Some of the services include looking at the coastlines, crops, looking at the various mountains, as well as water resource management. The program has a free online learning platform and also different interfaces for different needs, and we continue to add more services based on the demand. One of the continental services was the Earth observation from space, which has been developed from Landsat, one of its kind in Africa, which gives water variability from space from 1980s, 86. So it means you can also go to Lake Bosumtwi or one of the bodies and get more information in our platform and also help in the water resource management. On the food security, we have the cropland service, which is very impactful in informing food productivity from space. The service gives the probability of cropping, which is impactful for our various ministries and departments in agriculture to make sure Africa is food secure. Digital South Africa also has the vegetation anomalies, which, for example, looking at one farmland, you can see the trend in the vegetation over time. For example, 1 year, and also this one has been added to include more information on the rainfall. Very useful for understanding climate change impacts. Digital South Africa coastline is one of its kind in Africa, borrowed from Digital Earth Australia, and in Africa it has been possible to validate this product with our partner Center Suvi Ecology in Senegal and Regional Center for Mapping in Kenya. This coastline service covers 38 countries and it has been very useful, providing a free interactive access to show hotspots, rates of change, and yearly shorelines, as you can see. In the hotspots on the Digital Africa coastlines, you can see, for example, you zoom into an area. For example, if you go to the coast of Mozambique, you can see the dynamics of the coast over time. It actually has been updated up to 2023, which is impactful on the other side, the other coast of Madagascar. The water bodies continental service is also impactful, covering almost over 700,000 individual water bodies. Very useful for studying dams. It's very useful. It covers over 3 decades and gives us an understanding of extreme events when we have drought and floods and how our governments can be better prepared to provide water for our citizens. Access to the Digital South Africa platform is fairly seamless. We have the Digital South Africa map interface, which is very good to use, giving you an idea of visualizing data and what is available and what you can even develop story maps to educate our communities. We also have the Digital South Africa Sandbox, which helps us to analyze data, providing more insights. Access to the Digital South Africa platform is also possible through other GIS software and also the free learning platform in English and French. You get a certificate of completion. Some of the services we have, you can look at crop probability. For example, in the Digital South Africa map, this is an area which has semi-arid. There's a lot of irrigation. You can see a river, and crop productivity will show you areas which are prone to be crops in deep yellow. We can also have an example of coastlines. You can see, for example, in Tokaradi, you can see the change of the coastlines up to 2023. And if you're using the link, you can zoom further and see other coastlines in our countries. Mapping water extent from space with the water observation from space is useful. The Digital South Africa platform, you can also see an example of 3 lakes in Ethiopia where we were able to establish one of them was drying, and you can see as the colors indicate, water somewhere, water in blue is what has remained water over time, and areas from green to red show areas which are experiencing droughts. Access to the Digital South Africa Sandbox gives us an opportunity to have more analysis from looking at crops, vegetation, water extent, and even wetlands. For example, you can look at the crop health, an example, just changing the extent of the area and get information of individual parcels of land at 10 meters. Then from that, you can see the vegetation extent over time with Sentinel-2 and advise farmers appropriately. The vegetation phenology is also impactful, giving an idea of crop activity from space, showing you the start of a season, end of a season, and end of a season for different years, for different crops. This can be very useful for our farmers to understand more and what they require or whether they require irrigation. Mapping water extent from space is very useful. In the sandbox, you can see changes of big water bodies, for example, from Lake Chad, Lake Tanganyika in Tanzania, and another one, Lake Baringo in Kenya. You can also look at urbanization using the Sentinel-2 cloud-free mosaics called geomads. You can examine the change in urbanization. For example, Efadwase in Ghana, you can see the changes and you can see the hotspot areas. Very useful. We can also look at flood assessments using Sentinel-1 and 2. In the example of Lokoja in Nigeria, here we worked with our partner Afrigist in Nigeria to provide insights on flooding in Lokoja. It adds external data from the European Space Agency to better understand people who are more vulnerable to flooding. We're also working with our partner in Tunisia Observation Sahel. We're able to provide some insights on land degradation, for example, looking from different years and seeing how much has changed over time. This is very impactful for informing our government's course of action, and looking at some of these, you can see artificial services, especially where we have the capital city of the country. We have the sandbox tutorials, which are easy to use, short sessions, less than 30 minutes, and we have this in the live sessions in English and French. Access to platform is also possible through our partner Esri, where we have the data in the Africa Geoportal, leaving no one behind. Tutorials are available in English and French, giving you a step-by-step guide on how to access the platform. Access to Digital South Africa is also possible through other platforms, through the Open Geospatial Consortium services, the web services, and you can be able to use it in another platform or customized. Digital South Africa summarizes some of the engagement in terms of impact stories, and from different countries you've been able to see from coastlines to mangroves to wetlands to urbanization. For example, also working with the youth, the example of the Youth Mapper Challenge we had, covering 4 countries who finalized their projects and actually got awarded. Had Malawi, Uganda, Sierra Leone, Tanzania. And on the other side, we had Africa Women in GIS. We had a winner from Nigeria and South Africa. Some of the examples of the youth mappers we had from Makerere, mapping of forests and restoration, and the other one from Malawi University of Science and Technology in Malawi. Another example, we worked with Zanzibar to look at the mangroves, and using the platform, we're able to provide assessments of the changes in the mangroves over time, from the lecturers to the students to the community space to village. In East Africa, in Kenya, we looked at rehoming of giraffes in Lake Baringo, and it was amazing to provide assessments from space to advise that the lake was flooding, and Giraffes were actually put here in the island 50 years ago by the Community for Conservation. But now, with the intervention of the water extent, we're able to relocate them to safer sanctuaries. Still on the same use case, working with the Northland Rangeland Trust, we're able to provide assessments on the conservancies and how they can monitor vegetation. Looking on the other side of the Okavango in South Africa, we're able to work with our champion scientists looking at the changes of the Lake Ngami, which has been disappearing from space, as disappearing, and from space we could actually confirm that is the story and inform integrated watershed plan. And East Africa in Tanzania, we provided assessments on Lake Sulunga in Dodoma, Tanzania, and this was very impactful, empowering the Tanzania National Bureau of Statistics to actually use the platform to advise the citizens in terms of floods and drought and possible alternative livelihoods. In Senegal, we worked closely with the Center Sous Ecologie, and we were able to provide assessments on coastal erosion and even provide the great assessment of the validation of the coastline service. In Ghana, we worked with a champion from Ghana Forest Commission and provided assessments of productivity of mangoes in some orchards. This was quite impactful, and even this formed part of the PhD of our champion. In Ghana, we're able to work with Ghana Statistical Service and the Environmental Protection Agency to provide assessments of land degradation. This was the case of Ampram Forest. And looking at different years, you could see how we can better inform our governments to make more informed decisions. Our platform access, we have the training courses in English and French with videos, recorded tutorials, hands-on exercise in English and French, and welcome you to pursue these courses and get certification to add to your resume, and also expertise in making tomorrow better for Africa. Access to the platform is possible through the website and the various links, and the materials will be shared with you, including how you can access the live sessions. Thanking the partners who've made this program possible, especially the Australian government, Helmsy Trust and other partners, and also the various partnerships we have with the universities in Ghana and the Ghana Statistical Service and other partners. Wishing to thank you everybody for giving us the opportunity to be part of this important workshop, and that we are connected, and those are our contacts, and wish to end here and take some interventions, and hopefully soon we'll be with you soon. Thank you so much, Madase. Thank you. Merci beaucoup.